Hello everyone, welcome back for day 3. So for today I'm going to be bringing you guys a back workout. We're going to be hitting the entirety of the back. Now the back is one of those muscles that's a little bit more complex to train because we don't see these muscles working. So it's kind of out of sight, out of mind. So to really establish a strong connection and really feel the muscles contract, you got to practice. You got to practice really starting with just no weight at all, just going through the motions and then starting with light weight and progressing from there. One of the main cues I'm going to give you guys before we start this workout here, when we're doing rowing exercises, is we're focusing not on driving the weight back with the force of our arms, but rather initiating by driving those elbows back. So we're driving the elbows back and pinching the shoulder blades together as hard as you can. So that's a really good tip there. Just a beginner's tip there to start to really feel these movements in your back a little bit more. But remember, you need to scale the weight to your ability level and your connection to the weight. So if the weight's too heavy and you feel like you're just over pulling with your arms, you're feeling everything in your forearms and your biceps, you have to lighten the weight. You gotta slow down the tempo a little bit. And then you're gonna learn these movements and you're really gonna feel a strong contraction in your back. So for today's workout, we're gonna be working in different planes of motion. Now, there's many muscles back there. The musculature of the back is pretty complex. So I'm gonna be doing a few motions, overhead pulling motions by way of a pull-up or a bar. I'm going to be doing some horizontal rowing. I'm going to be doing some pullover exercises. So really trying to hit all the functions of the back. So sit back, enjoy, and try this workout out. Here we go. Okay, so starting this one off with some pull-ups. Now this by far has been my go-to exercise for all the years I've been training. As you can see here, I'm going to do these weighted. I've done pull-ups for many years, so I've gotten to the point where I can add a little weight to make these a little bit more intense. If you're not strong enough for that just yet, don't worry, just do regular pull-ups. If that's challenging for you, I'd recommend you use an assisted pull-up machine at your gym, or you can rig some resistance bands around your foot and to the bar, and that'll just be a little bit easier for you to pull yourself up. And then if you don't have one of those, I'd recommend you just kind of start from the top of the motion. You jump up to the top and you come down nice and slow, and over time you're going to be able to build the strength to lift yourself up. As you can see here, I'm keeping my chest lifted the whole time. This is a really great cue to really emphasize your back. If you start to cave forward, your arms are going to really take over the motion here, your forearms and your biceps. So you can see here I have my chest lifted, I'm keeping my elbows flared out to the side, and my back is really getting 100% of this tension here, as you can see. Alright, so next up I went into the bent over barbell row. Now for me, this exercise really reigns supreme when it comes to putting thickness on your back. Today I opted to go for a supinated grip with my palms up, keeping my elbows in tight very close to my body, and really focusing on driving my elbows up to the sky and pinching my shoulder blades together. There's an intention almost with my elbows, like I'm trying to have them touch behind the back of my body, which obviously isn't going to happen, but that intention really activates my back. So I'm driving my elbows up, I'm trying to pause, I'm trying to take out the momentum from the exercise. So I'm hitting a pause at the top, squeezing and contracting the musculature of my back, and then I'm coming down in a slow and controlled fashion. This is a really great exercise. This is a staple that everyone should do if they want to build a great back. So the great thing about this exercise is it's very versatile. Depending on the width of your grip, whether you turn your hands up or down, you can really emphasize certain areas a little bit more. In my case, I'm trying to work my lower lats. It's kind of a weak point for me. So my palms are up and I'm pulling very close to the side of my body. Okay, so next I moved into a superset. That means I paired 2 exercises together and went from one to the other with minimal rest. No rest really at all. So I went into a underhand grip pull down here. So again, I opted for a narrower grip with my palms up, keeping my elbows in tight close to my body and driving that bar straight down towards my chest. So the first thing I'm doing here is I'm thinking of kind of pinching my shoulder blades together and then driving my elbows straight down and holding that contraction at the bottom. Here's a great angle you could see right here. So shoulder blades pulled back, driving those elbows straight down and having those elbows kind of wrap around the back of my body. That's the intention I'm doing, and I'm making sure I hold it at the bottom. and feeling the entire musculature of the back contract. This is how you got to work the back, guys. You got to go slow and controlled, no jerking, no swaying, taking the momentum out of it. I'm a big believer in just executing everything with as much perfect technique as you can. That's how you sculpt the body. That's how you build the body that you want over time. So part 2 of this superset, I went right into a pullover motion. Now for me, I get a lot of activation in my upper lats when I do this exercise. So I'm grabbing a straight bar, I'm leaning forward slightly, and I'm keeping my arms straight for the entirety of the movement. So my arms are in a straight position. I'm going to pull that bar towards my thighs, and I'm lifting my chest as I finish the movement. And again, the same concept applies. I'm focusing on pinching my shoulder blades together and holding that contraction at the top of the movement. Slow and controlled, getting as much of a stretch as I can in the elongated position, and then driving that bar straight to my thighs and pinching the back, pinching those shoulder blades together and holding that contraction at the top. So you can see here a lot of upper back activation with this one. Okay, so to finish off this back workout, I hit a horizontal narrow grip row. So I like to use the individual handles here because I have a lot more freedom of movement in my hands. I can really rip those cables apart and bring my elbows back very, very far and create a very, very big squeeze in my back. So I really prefer the individual handles as opposed to that fixed V-bar where you don't get that freedom of movement in the motion. So I was sitting up as straight as I could, keeping my torso totally straight, initiating the motion again by driving those elbows straight back and pinching my shoulder blades together as hard as I can. Great movement. Always focusing on a nice, slow and controlled tempo, holding the squeeze once I pull the weight in, and extending my arms in a slow and controlled fashion, not just letting the weight control me. I'm in charge throughout the entirety of the motion here. Alright, so that's it. The workout's complete. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to be placing the entire workout in the description bar so you can follow along with it for yourself. And stay tuned because the next workout we're going to do is a shoulder, bicep, and tricep workout. Take care, guys.